is my shepherd. I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the shadow of the valley of death, I fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod, thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen.
Hello everybody, welcome. Hopefully the sound is okay. Just give me a moment to just get my stuff working here. Now I've just got to mute that a moment. It's better. Right, I'm kind of watching the chat on my mobile, and just about to switch that picture over so you can see what we're doing. So if you can let me know in the chat whether we're actually coming through. Let's have a look. I'm just waiting for it. It's a bit slow. Our internet's sort of a bit slow lately. Oh yeah, that's right. You did, Rebecca. Yeah, LAM. Obviously, the other side is like way ahead of us. You know, we're playing catch up. So I mean, when was that? Aleister Crowley, he was like 1920 or something, wasn't he? So it shows you they've got about 100 years at least head start on all us poor souls, you know. But anyway, all praise to the Most High first of all, and I hope everybody's living righteously and trying to keep their heads together and their souls together and everything else in these crazy times that we're in at the moment. So yeah, sorry it took me a while to get this video together. Things have been absolutely manic and crazy in the world that we live in. Anybody who knows, trying to raise a family and pay the bills and keep everybody kind of together and happy is not an easy thing to do. But we struggle on and we try and make it work, and that's all we can do, I suppose. Keep living with hope and faith, and hopefully our prayers will be answered one day. I'm just going to take a drink here. Excuse me. Thank you. Right. So what I've got here, I've got the board that we normally look at here. We'll run through that, and then what we'll do, I'll try and get the computer to screen share, and we'll look into the actual meaning of the words a little bit more, and try and get a bit more of an understanding of what this actual symbol really means when you get down to the root of it. So we'll start in our normal way. This is number 12 in the letter series. The actual L in what we call our Western English alphabet. The Hebrew name was Lam, sometimes called Lamed, but I've written here Lam, which is the more sort of deeper root of the word. Lamed is kind of a extended version of that. So the next one we have, going down our descending sort of history of the actual letter and where it's actually derived from. We've got the modern Hebrew. I laugh at that because, you know, some people call themselves Hebrews, but really they're Jews, or they call themselves Jewish or whatever. But yeah, enough of that. So this is the Jewish Lamed, you can see here, and anybody who knows what they're looking at with the eyes to see can see that it resembles the snake. And you've got the head up here, and you have the body of the snake curling round like that and going down to the tail. That's the Lamed, the Jewish version of our modern L. Then you have the Roman one, the Etruscan Roman alphabetic version of it, which is sometimes written like this, sometimes written like that, sometimes reversed the other way round, because back in the day, because Hebrew is written from right to left, and the European civilizations tended to write the other way round for some reason. I haven't quite understand why that is, although I did read that it was about the actual way that they wrote, because they used to write with scrolls and with ink. If they wrote from left to right, they'd end up smudging what they wrote, so hence why they write in the direction that they do. Whether that's right or not, I don't know, but anyway, this one is the Greek version of the L, which ascends up or descends back through time to give us the sort of L that's similar to that one. And this one, the second one down, which is similar to that one, but kind of reversed, like I said, and kind of flipped upside down as well. Going over to the left, this is the Samaritan Aramaic version, the Nabatean version, which again resembles the Lamed of the Jewish later script. This is the Palmyrian one, which kind of resembles that as well. And then you have what's we can term sort of the Aramaic, true Aramaic script. These are all variants of the Aramaic script by area, if you like, geographically speaking. But this is the Aramaic descending version of the Lamed back, or the Lam, back through time. So you can see here it's like a curved fishhook, if you like. As it goes back, it kind of resembles this version, and then it goes to this one, which is like that one, and that one, and it's like that one, and then it gets flipped around and it's like a hook upside down, and then flip the other way up again. Then you have the Moabite one, which is similar again, and I assume that they would be all similar variations of this kind of script. But I haven't managed to find any Moabite ones going further back, so that's why it's blank. The Canaanite ones follow up, and sometimes they're flipped on their side, and sometimes they're facing left, and sometimes they're facing right. The earliest one I've actually found, which was the Canaanite one, which was about 2000 BC or before the Saviour. Then, now we're getting back into the sort of the origins of the actual letter itself, which is the Phoenician, and then followed by the ancient Semitic. So these ones ascend back through time. Like I said, they're pretty similar all around, because these races of people and civilizations were all fairly relatively close to each other. So, you know, through trade and travel routes and trade routes, they would have all come into contact with each other, and the word would have spread, so to speak, which we know it did. The Paleo-Hebrew ancient Semitic one follows back up in much the same way again, until you get to the early one, which is this hook version again. I call it a hook, but really what we should be calling it is the staff, because that is where it derives its root from. It is actually a picture of a simplified version of a shepherd's crook. And as you can see over to the top here, we have the Egyptian version of it, the Mitzrayim take on the whole thing. And for anybody who hasn't really watched any of my videos, and this is the first one, before you get the label gun out and label me with, oh, he's an Egyptian lover and he follows the Pharaoh and all that. No, what I'm trying to do with these videos is show that the people of Egypt, Mitzrayim under the Pharaoh, and the Hebrews, the ancient Israelites, children of the Most High that were brought out of Egypt, were both living in the same area, and their languages are comparable and have a lot of roots running through the whole alphabet itself. And as you'll see, you know, as we get into this a bit further, you'll see the similarities. So this one here on the left that I described as a hook or a staff is actually sometimes listed as folded cloth, like as cloth would be folded over a rail or something. Or it can be, as I said before, the shepherd's staff or the shepherd's crook. And this one here on the right is the more elaborate pictograph version, and also probably the more royal version, if you like. As we'll see in a little while, hopefully, if I can get the screen share working, we'll be able to look at that a bit further as well. So this was the Pharaoh's shepherd's staff that they used to hold in their hands. And I just gave you briefly a couple of Egyptian words which sort of describe, as I say again, coincidentally, the same as what the Hebrew version does. So this phonetically sounding folded cloth symbol has the sound S in Egyptian speak. And here you can see the name of the word, which is Sheshem, which, as those of you who know anything about the Hebrew language would have known that Shem in the Hebrew language means name, to give a name to something. Well, in the Mitzrayim Egyptian version, these three symbols and the Shem name means actually to guide, to lead, and direct, which is what a shepherd's staff is actually built for. It's to guide, to lead, and direct the sheep. So some people could say, oh, you're just grasping at things, but there it is. You know, it says what it says and does what it says on the tin, really. This one here as well is another version, is Skep. I don't know whether I'm pronouncing that right, but these symbols, this is the S again, this is the K, H sound picture, which some say is representative of the sun or the moon or something like that. This one here underneath is like a square, and that's the P sounding pictograph in Egyptian, and all together they give you this skep sound, which also means to lead or to bring to take something to bring to. This one I won't go into yet because I'm going to go over here in a minute, first of all. So that's basically that. You can, I encourage you all to dig deeper and, research and show yourselves approved by getting this knowledge any which way you want to. There's lots of online things and books at the moment. Get them while you can, so to speak. So this here, what I've given you here, this is the Strong's number H7462, and it's the word for, or the number of the word for shepherd, and I'll show you that on the screen in a moment, a bit later. So what you have here, you have the pictograph for the resh, which is what we would say is the R. Then going from right to left, you have the all-seeing eye, but the Hebrew version. And we're going to get to the Egyptian version and the Hebrew version in a couple of letters' time, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. Coming up soon. This is my time, so it could be a couple of months, but I don't know, I'll try to get to it as quick as I can anyway, before time runs out. So this one here, the ayin, it's actually called, the name of it is ayin, and it's written in modern letters as AY, and then you have the Yod symbol, which represents actions, and you have the hay symbol, which is a man worshipping. Basically, it means faith, really. It's somebody praising the Most High, somebody above that is all powerful and what you put your faith in. So that altogether gives us the name Rayah, from right to left. Rayah, which means shepherd. Rayah. Anybody of you who have actually looked on my subscriptions and gone to the Teshua community, Yah Ministry, or Yah Victory, I think it's called, you'll see that the person who gives some good lectures and teachings on that, his name is Ra David, or Daoud, and coincidentally, and so that in the Hebrew means shepherd. This one here, the number H6629, is San, or Tsayon, actually. We'll check the spelling a bit later and the phonetic sound of that, but the Tsayon means of a flock. So those two together, and you'll see them if you go on the Blue Letter Bible and any of those that have Strong's Concordance, you'll see that when you get to the word, if you just type in the word shepherd, most often than not, it has the two together. These two words sort of join together throughout all of the scriptures and verses that I've seen anyway. We'll have a look at those in a minute. So those two words sort of kind of go together, like socks and shoes or something, they'll have a joint connected meaning. So shepherd of a flock. Just briefly, these symbols here. You have this one, which is the Sade symbol, which is a picture of a path. It's kind of flipped on its side, but it's normally written this way. But if you kind of twist your head over to the left and imagine the vertical line as the horizon, and this little Z symbol as a staggered pathway. So remember, the meaning of it is the Sade, which means the way. So the way is never going to be a straight line. The way is always crooked and not straightforward. So that's hence why it is a picture of that. The next symbol we've seen before is the A, the Aleph, which is a picture of a cow's or bull's head with the horns, signifying strength. This little one here at the end, which is the N symbol, is a picture of a seedling, or I seem to think that it's a picture of a little serpent seed, like a little sperm seed, if you like. So that altogether gives you the word Sion. So those together, shepherd of a flock, are those two letters there. Now, the reason I've put this over here is comparing the two again. You have Rayah, which is a shepherd in the Hebrew version of things, but over in the Egyptian take on everything, you have Ra, which is their god, which is the sun, the Aten, which they all worshipped. So there's always a flip side, as we've discovered before on mine and Casey's channel. There's always two sides to all this stuff. There's the unrighteous take on things, and there's the righteous take on things. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to flip from that back to computer because we've kind of finished with that little drawing for a little while, and I'm going to try and share screens and see if it actually works. Let's see if that's worked. I've got to kind of look at my mobile device and see what's going on with that. And now hopefully I should be able to go to here. Yeah. Let me see if that's coming up. Sorry for the delay, but I've got to just look. Ah, right. Okay. I think we're right. So here we go. Let's have a look. Yeah, exactly. Rebecca, Satan hijacks everything. Oh, you're all on your lonesome in there. Oh, well. Maybe we'll get some more subscribers one day. Well, we've got plenty of subscribers. It's just everybody seems to be busy or, I don't know, heading back from work or snowed under or walking around the vessel or, I don't know, coming back from Italy or something. I don't know. It's a crazy world, isn't it? So, have we got the picture? Yes, we've got the picture. Right. I'm going to try and use my cursor here. So, what we've got that I was describing before is, let's just go up here. So, here's the picture of the pharaoh. Let's go to that one. I think it's Tutankhamun or something. Oh, it's by Graham Hancock. Thanks, Graham. Yeah, so as you can see here, you've got the shepherd's staff that the pharaoh holds in his left hand. Significant. He's holding it in his left hand. And then the other one, his right hand, he's holding the flail. And we'll go down. How do I get down? Get back to where I was before. Oh no, wrong one. Let's close that and go down to the picture I had before, which was that one. Yeah, so here we go. We've got here the crook. I'll just briefly read what it says. Emblem of royalty, tool of a shepherd, represents Pharaoh leading his people. The flail, emblem of royalty, tool used to keep insects away. It's probably what they think we are, or what the Israelites were, a whole bunch of insects or something. Represents Pharaoh protecting his people. So see how they use items of the day and kind of flip it for their own meaning. Like there's a hidden meaning to it. You know, if I was a pharaoh, I could think of better things to hold than two little inanimate little objects like that. You know, if you were a pharaoh, you'd be wanting to show off, I don't know, something, but obviously they're holding it for a reason, which means to hold power over the people, because this one was leading his people, but is it actually leading his people or guiding his people? It's more of a mad power drive, isn't it? You know, with a pharaoh, it's you do as I say or pay the consequences. And more so with the flail here. You know, this is a cattle flail, which they used to kind of move the cattle on. You know, like when we've touched on this before with previous videos where we've gone into like the ploughing and where you use the cattle to plough with, the person walking with the cattle would have used the flail to keep the cattle moving on. So the significance, again, to anybody who's into this deeper meaning of the word of the Most High, is it's all about things of the time back in the day. It's about cattle and sheep, and it can be used as a, you know, a deeper meaning for what the people in power and those with power class those under them, you know, the genuine general people, the civilization under them. They either think of them as sheep or cattle. And so that's basically that I wanted to show you. And you can see here on the top here, he's got the serpent, serpent mind, you know. And also this one here is a vulture. The vulture back in the day, the hieroglyphic pictograph of a vulture meant mother. That's what the meaning of a vulture hieroglyph is a mother. It means mother. So why would you have a vulture on your head? You know, does it mean born of the serpent, or who knows? I don't know. It's crazy stuff anyway. So I think we can get rid of that one now. And we'll go on to this one. Excuse me. So here we've got Heka, which is the Egyptian spelling and pronunciation of this shepherd's staff symbol that we were looking at just a little while ago. Heka. There we've got the vulture picture again, which is a letter A in Egyptian as well. So those together, reading from left to right, they're all a mirror image of what the Hebrew version is. So Hebrew's right to left, Egyptian's left to right. Coincidentally, that's what we all write in, isn't it? Left to right. It's because we're in that Egyptian rule and mindset, I suppose. So yeah, there's that. I thought that might shed a bit of light. And I got that from this bit here, which anybody who knows anything about this, Hyksos, there was a bit of writing on here I was going to read. Now they're kind of messing with this, as they do with everything, all this information that we're being given in these times. They're kind of messing with it, because for virtually all of my life since I got into all this stuff, the Hyksos has always, I'm going to try and find it, but where does it say it? I've got my other glasses on so I can't see. Pleasures of failing eyesight. Where is it now? So the Hyksos were, oh, here it is. Is it? Here we go. I think it's this one. There we go. So the origin of the term Hyksos derives from the Egyptian expression Hakakaswet, rulers of foreign lands. But back in the day, I think it was, let me get rid of that. Click on that again. That's it. This guy Josephus had sort of maintained that it was meaning this. Where are we? Okay, let me just getting used to this. Now let's read that bit. Let's see what that says. Oh, here we go. Josephus identifies the Israelite Exodus with the first Exodus mentioned by Manetho, when some 480,000. It's always multiples of 12s, as you probably know, Rebecca, anyway. It's never 490 or something like that. It's always multiples of 12. So 480,000 Hyksos shepherd kings, also referred to as just shepherds, as kings and as captive shepherds, in his discussion of Manetho, left Egypt for Jerusalem. The mention of Hyksos identifies this first exodus with the Hyksos period, 16th century BC. So this guy here, this Josephus and Manetho, had the original idea of what the word meant, but lately they've kind of changing it and saying that it means rulers of foreign lands. See how they're kind of trying to cover up the true meanings of everything. And this shows you like a brief area of where they were actually ruling, I believe. Yeah, Egypt in the early Hyksos period, 1650 to 1580 BC, Dynasty 15 Hyksos, Kingdom of Kush. So there you go. And as we know, they all just fled out of this way and wandered around here for 40 years. So that was all I think I had on Hyksos. Let's close that one up. Now, what have we got here? I'm going to have to change my glasses because I can't read that. Excuse me. Right, this is a little bit of info of somebody's take on shepherd's staff from Bible Tools. If anybody wants to look into that. Psalm 23, which coincidentally was what I played at the beginning. And to anybody who didn't recognize it, that was from, coincidentally again, from the Lost series. That was one that Casey decoded, and we found biblical meaning behind that. And that was a character from the Lost series reading Psalm 23. So let's see what he has to say. He's got, most frequently the staff is used in 3 ways. 3 again. The first is drawing sheep together into an intimate relationship. This is of special interest during lambing season because in a large flock there are often dozens or scores of lambs being born at the same time. It is easy for the ewe to lose her lamb in all of the confusion. The shepherd, Ra'ah, has to make sure the right lamb gets with the right ewe. For those who have just a few sheep, that would be no problem. But when there are hundreds and sometimes thousands of ewes in one flock, the staff becomes very important. As much as he is able, the shepherd watches the lambs being born. Then, if there is any confusion at all, between the lamb and the ewe. He uses his staff to hook the lamb, or should I say sook the lamb around the neck, through the body. A very deft maneuver. Picks the lamb up by his staff and carries it to the proper ewe. He cannot touch the lamb. This is very important. Hence why it has the sook or the hook at the end of the staff. He cannot touch. We're here somewhere. He cannot touch the lamb. If he touches the lamb, the ewe will not suckle it, because there is a wrong odor. The smell of the man. Ooh. And the ewe fears it too much. Yes, it will not feed it. These are the lambs one may see people feeding with a bottle. The staff then is used to bring the lamb into an intimate relationship with its ewe, mother of the lamb. Secondly, the staff is used to reach out and grab a lamb for close inspection. In this way, it frequently precedes the passing under the rod. The shepherd hooks it by the neck or leg and leads it to where he will examine it. Thirdly, the staff is used in guiding the sheep as they are moving along, because sheep tend to wander off. They always think the pasture is greener somewhere else, pretty much like we do, isn't it? Really, there's always something better on the other side of the road, and they start to wander away. Relationships, jobs, I don't know, new car, whatever. There's always something better. But it's not really. The whole flock will be going one way, but there will be one that heads in her own direction. The shepherd will frequently use the blunt end to jab the sheep in the ribs, hello, ribs, and nudge it back in the direction of the flock. Okay. The staff represents God's Spirit. Okay. It indicates gentle guidance, whereas the rod suggests sterner measures such as offense or defense protection. The Most High leads, guides by his ruach. Recall John 16:13, where Mashiach told his disciples that he would not leave them to fend for themselves, but he would provide another guide. However, when the ruach of truth has come, it will guide you into all truth, for it will not speak on its own authority, but whatever it hears it will speak, and it will tell you things to come. Yeah, that was from somebody called John Rittenbauer. Thanks for that, John. That was interesting as well. All interesting stuff. So what have we got here? Pretty much near the end of it now, but if anybody's still hanging in there. Oh, you're still there, Rebecca. Thanks for hanging in. Don't know where everybody else is. Maybe there's something going on. It's not 3 days of darkness, is it, over there? I've heard about it. I'm keeping a watch. Keeping a watch for the 3 days of darkness. Oh man. Yeah, shepherding is all amongst the oldest occupations, beginning some 5,000 years ago. Oh, really? Sheep were kept for their milk, meat, especially their wool. Over the next 1,000 years, sheep and shepherding spread throughout Eurasia. Lost my crack there. Some sheep were integrated in the family farm along with other animals such as chickens and pigs. Obviously not the Hebrew farms. To maintain a large flock, the sheep must be able to move from pasture to pasture. This required the development of an occupation separate from that of the farmer. So, see the distinction. A farmer sets up and stays in one place. A shepherd is free to wander in the wilderness or the desert or whatever. But there's that. The duty of shepherds was to keep their flock intact, protect it from predators, not the ones that bleed green goo, and guide it to market areas in time for shearing. In ancient times, shepherds also commonly milked their sheep and made cheese from this milk. Few shepherds still do this today. Probably don't. Probably a law against it, or you'll get fined. Some milk police will turn up and cuff you and drag you off. Have you got a license for that sheep? Or cruelty to sheep or something? In many societies, shepherds were an important part of the economy. Yeah, they were like their money, weren't they? You know, Abraham had loads of sheep and comparatively was wealthy, but still wandering. Abraham wasn't a farmer, was he? He didn't have a farm. He just wandered wherever his sheep and animals wanted to find food. Unlike farmers, shepherds were often wage earners, being paid to watch the sheep of others. Shepherds also lived apart from society. All sounds familiar, this stuff, doesn't it? When you actually read it, it's like, for those with eyes to see, you can see the distinctions of history in these very words, like, Hamashiach. Shepherds also lived apart from society, being largely nomadic. It was mainly a job of solitary males without children. And new shepherds thus needed to be recruited externally. Shepherds were most often the younger sons of farming peasants who did not inherit any land. As Casey's always saying, you get property and get tied down with materialistic stuff and a job and a career and a blah blah, so on and so forth. Yeah, that's when the hooks go in, or the sooks, and they're not handy either. In other societies, each family would have a family member to shepherd its flock, often a child, youth, or an elder, as Daoud with Goliath, probably. He was the youngest child, I think. Or an elder who couldn't help much with harder work. These shepherds were fully integrated in society. Shepherds would normally work in groups, either looking after one large flock or each bringing their own and merging their responsibilities. So there you can see, you've all probably seen a picture of a shepherd anyway. But there's the guy doing the job. That's in Romania. Not the idealist picture to get, but anyway, that's a little insight onto shepherds. New Zealand lamb. Oh no. Ban the sheep. sense of humour. They pretty much ban everything in New Zealand, don't they? So that's the end of that one. And yeah, here, like I said before, I was going to show you the Strong's version of shepherds. So this is what we've got. It occurs 23 times. 23 times in the KJV. So here you've got the modern Hebrew versions of what I showed you at the beginning of the video. Ra'ah Sion. And these are the verses. Now, this verse here, I thought this was quite apt, really. Actually, quite a lot of them are that have these shepherd words actually in. I'll just wait for that to load. It's sorry for the speed that this thing's working. It's the children are on school holidays at the moment, so site can't be reached. Oh, can now. Okay. Yeah, so the children are on holiday, so everybody's online looking up nail videos and how to wear the correct bra and how to put on appropriate makeup or change the oil in your car, whatever you want to do in whatever order, or build your house or whatever. Totally not sexist, but most people can do both, I would assume, and YouTube would love more men to do makeup videos. I may start a playlist up for makeup tutorials. Not very good at putting it on though, I don't think so. Probably don't wait up for that one. So yeah, here we go. This is the verse that I thought was rung true to ear. That ye shall say, thy servant's trade hath been about cattle from our youth, even until now, both we and also our fathers, that ye may dwell in the land of Goshen. For every shepherd is an abomination unto the Egyptians. Ooh. Every shepherd is an abomination. Oh, can't do that. Unto the Egyptians. I wonder why. And there was another few. I'll just click on the Strongs here. That should hopefully bring up the numbers for you, so you'll be able to see this. Blue Letter Bible is quite a good one, really. It gives you quite an in-depth meaning on the words. There's another one down here, I think it was. And he said, I did see all Israel scattered upon the mountains as sheep that have no shepherd. And the Most High said, these have no master. Let them return, therefore, every man to his house in peace. What was the other one that I saw? A voice of the cry of the shepherds and an howling of the principal of the flock shall be heard, for the Most High hath spoiled their pasture. Thus saith the Most High of hosts, again in this place which is desolate, without man and without beast, and in all the cities thereof shall be an habitation of shepherds, causing their flocks to lie down. Oh, this was the one. Let's highlight this one. Can we highlight this one? Son of man, prophesy against the shepherds of Israel. Prophesy and say unto them, Thus saith the Most High Almighty unto the shepherds, Woe be to the shepherds of Israel that do feed themselves. Should not the shepherds feed the flocks? That applies to all the camps on the corners, I suppose. All the Joe Esteems and the others that don't tell the people what they need to hear. Anyway, there's quite a lot of verses here, or 23 of them, with shepherd in the verse. All pretty cool stuff. And so that's about it, really. I think I'm going to close that one, and now I should be back in that page, and let's see if I can get back to my page. And see if I can get the chat up. Present to everyone. Stop presenting to everyone. Let me see if I can go to here and see if I can get the chat up. I should have done this earlier, but I know it's been a bit of a long video, this one. I may kind of edit it a bit later on, but it's all kind of interesting. Helps pass the time while we're waiting for whatever we're waiting for. Subscriptions. You can see all the stuff that I've been watching. How far back was that? I've probably gone too far. Oh, I'm on the wrong channel. That's my Yahuwah's Word is King channel. I don't want that one. Check out all of these stuff. It's all interesting. Take what you want, leave what you don't. If you watch it, you'll know what I mean. There's a whole load of different stuff. Let me see if I can get back to... There's probably a quicker way of doing this, but... Oh, is it gone? Should be here, my link for... Oh, it's not there anymore. Oh, that's odd. How can I get into that then? I'll have to go back. Sorry about this. Let's see if I can get back to where would it be? Would it be in... I don't know whether I can actually get back to watch my own video and see my own stuff though. I don't know. Maybe I'll just go back to here. That's the chat, but that's not the chat we want, is it? Anyhow, let's just see who's in. I'll go back to my mobile devil rice and Yeah, I only see your icon on screen. That's right. I think it's pretty much. I need Casey's help, but I haven't spoken to him for a few days, so I always need to just run things past him just to make sure I get the hang of what I'm doing here. So I'm going to probably kind of wrap it up now, and thanks everybody, Rebecca and Michael, and I believe there was another couple in there, Jeff Wilkins, a few shout outs. Tommy's normally in, but I haven't seen him today. Maybe busy. Tika earlier on. Hopefully you're still there. I'm just scrolling back through the chat. Sorry, Rebecca, you've been pretty much left to fend for yourself, but I suppose you're pretty much used to that. Look on the bright side, at least you don't have to fight off trolls in here. Although I am getting up to, I've nearly got 700. I'm just under the 700 subscribers, so obviously I shall grow as much as I'm going to grow, and that will be good enough for me. So as long as somebody gets something from all of this, and finds their way back to the truth, repents of their sins, starts living righteous the way we should, that's all I can hope for. So yeah, thanks, Rebecca. I know you do. So that's it, I suppose, folks. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I won't take so long getting the next one together, and going to try and get something together with Casey and maybe do a more in-depth take on all of this stuff that's going on with what he's bringing out, all about the Italian connection with New York and Handy Sook and all those sort of things. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Hopefully we'll get together soon, and take care, and shalom.